sponsor lineup here for this one. Okay, well, it looks like YouTube had decided not to go live, so what's up, everybody? If you're just joining us here on YouTube, sorry about that. Let's take a look here. We do have the info coming in from Race Control. Stage number 1 will be ending at lap 25. Stage 2 with the caution at lap number 65. I don't think, can you make 65 laps here?
I don't believe you can. I believe you can get pretty close, but I don't know. I'm going back and forth in my head. You might be able to make it on fuel, but I don't think there's any way you make it that far on tires.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so, but then again, they don't pay me to drive these things well. Let's pick things up here at the front of the field and show you tonight's starting lineup. On the pole will be the number 63 GM Goodrich Service plus Chevrolet Camaro of Johnny Avila, lining up alongside the defending champion Custom Paints and Diecast number 52 of Kevin Dick. Row 2, the Miles Homemade Sauces Ford Mustang for the 89 of Jeff Yenish, alongside the Weiss Markets number 77 Mustang of Andrew Moore Jr. Braden Carroll and the team ZSS.com number 24, alongside the Woodfather number 28 of Troy Haight. Couple of Chevrolet Camaros making up the third row for tonight's race. Row 4 will have the Champion Athletic Wear number 2 of Mike Larch, alongside the Exalta 81 of Josh Salcy. Quentin Clark and the Sim Coaches number 42, alongside the 45 Sim Coaches entry of Andrew Mraz. Again, a couple of Chevrolet Camaros there on row number 5. Row 6 will have the Chubbies number 11 Toyota Camry of Tyler Seville, alongside the Express Esports number 58 of Colton Harvey. Good to see Colton back in the series this season. The P1 Battery 19 of Tom Wilhite lining up alongside the Mountain Dew Zero Sugar number 4 of Lee Campbell on row number 7. Row 8 will see the Gunskins number 41 of Tim Knott lining up alongside Tony Patton in car number 86. Ninth row for tonight's race, the Sim Coaches number 88 of Anthony Hanley alongside the Black Clover number 83 of Johnny Moeller. Row 10, J.D. Wardlow in the 48 alongside Hunter Waters and the Hunter's Fried Pickles number 7. Row number 11, A.J. Digby in the UMU eSport number 14 alongside the 23 of Richard Smith II. Row 12, Jim Thorndike in the Sim Coaches number 59 alongside the Skull Bandit number 33 of Dean Gagliano. And all alone on the final row will be the number 43 of Richard Fletcher. 25 cars scheduled to take the green flag here tonight. Field's going to make their way off at turn 4, and as always, race fans, the start of this one going to be all yours. Turn number 4, lap number 1 goes in the books, and it will be Johnny Avila leading Kevin Dick. Had a good battle shaping up between 24 Braden Carroll and the 89 of Jeff Yenish. Those cars starting to settle in. A.J. Digby, John Moeller a little bit deeper in the field. Oh man, Digby almost picking up the first Darlington stripe of the night. A little bit deeper in the field. Josh Salcy, Andrew Mraz side by side off of 4. Colton Harvey trying to follow through right alongside these guys. And I'll tell you what, Patrick, the harder you race these things around here, the more you're going to burn the tires up, and sometimes you gotta have to put a little bit of sacrifice.
Yeah, sometimes it's best just do your thing, don't push, just run in the preferred line and make the other cars have to fight to get around you. But there's really no reason to push super hard this early just because you don't want to burn the tires up. Not a lot of tires in the box tonight, only 2 sets.
Only 2 sets, and if you can't make it 65 laps on a tank of fuel, that opens up the question of, do you take one of your sets under the green flag pit stop, knowing that you are going to be seconds a lot faster than everybody else, but you're going to go at least a lap down, versus do you do the splash and dash, get yourself to the stage break, and then put the first set of tires on?
I would think you want to take tires at the stage break because that gives you another set towards the end of the race. If you've done the math and you think that undercut's going to work, it could work out and pay out dividends for you.
Andrew Mraz setting a new fastest lap of the race as we're focused on him. As we mentioned, a couple of changes to the sponsor lineup for the Sim Racers Club. Thank you very much to Real Assist for checking in with the sponsorship for tonight's event. Realty Executives putting up the cash for the most laps led, the hard charger, and the most positions lost prizes each week in this second season. Stage breaks will be presented by Northland Leisure Products. Custom Baits and Diecast is a seasonal and grand champion prize sponsor. Sim Speed Shop, obviously the series entitlement sponsor with the season champion, the same driver drawing prizes, and grand championship prizes for the top 2 finishers in the championship.
Sim Speed Shop. I gotta keep myself off of that website because I always Google over everything and my bank account just, I look at it and go, oh man, I really don't want to lose you, but some really, really nice stuff over there.
Let's take a look here and bring up the side-by-side box. J.D. Wardlow making big contact with the outside retaining wall, and he brings that car to a stop down the front straightaways.
A wonderful Darlington stripe down the side of it.
Yeah, actually, let's see here. Let's back it up a little bit. We'll bring the replay back up for you and see what happened to the 48. Ooh, car just twitched, and wow, big hit on the inside safer barrier for the 48. As Jeff Yedish battling with Andrew Moore Jr. off at turn number 2. Moore kind of backing everybody up. Andrew Mraz able to take advantage here. Mike Large, oh, Quentin Clark, there's an Darlington stripe. Mraz looking inside of Moore. Man, good battles here. This is going to be from 5th through back about the 10th position, actually even a little further back than that. Back to about 12th place, Tyler Seville, as we've got a fight for the race lead. Kevin Dick looking inside of Johnny Avila. Oh, Avila may have kissed the safer barrier. For a long time, that was almost how you had to run this place. That slightest little bit, you weren't at your absolute fastest unless you gave it just that tiny little bit of kiss off the outside.
Yeah, especially in the cars of old where they still had the big chrome bumpers on them, you could absolutely run that bumper along the side of the wall. And it just gives you that little push where you can get some more out of the tires before you spin the car out. These things, though, they're so aero sensitive, you don't want to scratch that car up one bit.
Yeah, we'll bring the side-by-side box up here for you and show you this battle between the 2 of Mike Larch. And it's the 12 in timing and scoring. I believe that is the 58 of Colton Harvey. Harvey able to make that pass cleanly in that number 58 Chevrolet Camaro. Already
getting
working.
a little bit early in that thing.
Yeah, a little bit. already to the halfway point here of stage number 1. Johnny Avila able to hold off Kevin Dick to this point. Your top, let's see, trying to find where they are here. About the top 5 or so have really started to break away. You got to go about 0.8 of a second between 5th place Andrew Mraz and 6th place Andrew Moore Jr. Oh, Troy Haight may have bounced it off the wall as well. Looks like Quentin Clark may have gotten a piece. He spun around down to the inside of the racetrack. Somebody was spun around to the inside anyway. Trouble as well for John Moeller. That car not up to full song. And Johnny Avila bounced it off the wall. Avila back to 3rd. Take a look at the Hot Shoe Raceway instant replay on this one. Oh, tucked up behind John Moeller. Avila had nowhere to go. Kevin Dick able to come past, and Avila was up on the outside wall.
You can see that ticker. It's hanging out right about half a second. Ooh, it's actually getting bigger. I almost wonder if something's wrong with Johnny Avila's car. It didn't look like he hit the wall that hard, but...
Well, it wouldn't surprise me.
He's gaining now.
Gaining back up and catching up on the machine of Richard Fletcher in the 21st position. Fletch way down to the inside of the racetrack. He'll let the leaders battle their way through as Braden Carroll picks up a little bit of a stripe there in the middle of 3 and 4. Hey, we go from the leaders are behaving themselves to the leaders are all
one's in the wall.
Borderline out of control here at the front of the field. That's kind of the way things go at Darlington, though.
Yeah, Darlington is such a tough track to really be consistent at. You really have to hit your marks almost more than the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
That is your favorite racetrack to drive on the iRacing platform, I know. We were doing some testing there earlier tonight in the Lotus 49s and the Lotus 79s for a big event coming up this weekend. The 3rd annual Vintage 500 5-class multi-class. Oh, here we go. Hold on a second. Yeah. Let's bring. We've got another guy coming in the booth with us, James Watson, our A1 color commentator. Bizzles heads up the B team. James, what's going on, buddy? See, we've got the Next Gen cars out here at Darlington.
Yes, sir. Got the classics. I love it. Love seeing some of the throwback scheme. Always happy to see races in Darlington. So yeah, I'm happy to be here and make one of these broadcasts.
Hey, we appreciate you coming up to hang in with us here. Is Kevin Dick battling Johnny Avila. They're going to be separated by 2 car lengths this time by the start-finish line. His lap number 20 will go up on the scoreboard next time by. Let's see. Ed Carswell is checking in the comments as well here. Patrick, would you say it's too tough to tame?
I don't know about too tough to tame, but I think that slogan's already taken. I don't know where, though.
I'm sure somebody's got their hands on it.
You know, this might be the best monster mile and a third in the country, though. Am I getting that run right?
Yes.
Don't forget to go dancing with the lady in brown.
Right.
My God, Johnny Avila making the big dive on Kevin Dick.
Do we dare go slide job?
Yeah, I was going to say, that had a very big feel of slide job. I love that you kind of have to make the pass that way into 3 and 4, though. It is the 3 and 4. Let me check my math on this one here. Yes, 3 and 4 is the narrow end of the racetrack. You almost have to try to run that like as tightened up as you possibly can. You hook the car, let it slide up towards the wall, and then just a whole bunch of gas off throttle, or off corner, I should say.
Pretty much, and like that's pretty much the only way you can pass here for the most part. Like a lot of your passing is you're basically gonna be starting to set up the move entering turn 1, and then you're just gonna spend the entire lap trying to make it into 3 and 4, and trying to get the best run you can off of 1 and 2, since it's kind of more or less flat out, but not really 1 and 2.
Yeah, and it's a very, very physical racetrack, so you're going to be making some contact and doing some bumping to get a pass done. You can get it done clean, but it doesn't happen very often.
No. Like, you want to get your passes done in 3 and 4, because while you can do it in 1 and 2, it's not usually recommended. You need a heck of a lot of give and take from the car being passed, because if you try to go side by side in 1 and 2, it usually doesn't end well. And if it's a late race maneuver where you know neither car is going to be giving an inch, it's well, I hope everyone watches the Ross Chastain Kyle Larson battle here, because that's pretty much how it goes.
Well, lap number 25 is up on the scoreboard. Oh God, that makes you nervous as a racer. Lap cars blinking around you. Off at turn number 4, green and white checkered flag goes in the air, and Johnny Avila picks up the win in Northland Leisure stage number 1. Now, James, I don't know how much you drive the Next Gen cars in the leagues, but I don't think these guys can go 65 miles on fuel and tires here, and that's where the second stage is tonight. They'll get a caution flag there, but you only have 2 sets of tires. When do you feel like you have to use them? Do you try to have to save one to the halfway point?
So, I actually did have a league race here in this car a couple weeks ago, and fuel, you can go right around that long, but tires, it's not recommended, because with the fixed setup, you're actually kind of, from what I noticed in that race, what me and all the other cars were dealing with, you were burning the right rear off a lot. Like, normally you're kind of used to ripping the right front, but like the right rear was not happy, and so it makes the middle 1 and 2 the most treacherous spot on the corner, because it just slides out from underneath you, and it takes a lot to try to save this car, and oftentimes the death wall will bite you. So it depends on how nice and easy you are with your right foot.
It's almost like driving a sprint car with fenders.
Pretty much. Although I would still rather drive the sprint car around here. And around you too, I guess.
That too.
Oh, someone's spinning.
Well, caution is out for the first time here tonight. And that may be, let's see. Well, let's see. We're pulling up here on the Hot Shoe Raceway instant replay. We got to find it first, but our replay guy is a little slow on the trigger finger here tonight.
Don't point your fingers at me. I'm not on the button.
I'll take the blame for that one. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be John Moeller that had the issue. Let's see here, as we get ready for our leaders. Well, let's see. Here we go. Here's the first of the strategy calls tonight. Oh, Kevin Nick with the big fake out. Good Lord, that was Joseph Newgarden-esque.
I was going to say, that's a Carter Lundy fake.
Well, let's see here. We'll keep our race leaders up here, and let's see. There we go. Now we can give you a look at the Hot Shoe Raceway instant replay. And Take a look, see what happened to John Moeller here. He was down in front of the leaders, slow down the inside lane. Man, that car just snapped loose.
That just looked like it
Wow.
was a bad shift. Oh man, who was that? Was that Tyler Seville barely squeaking off by?
Yes, it was. Let's take a look here. We'll come back here. We're going to wind this one back to see what Tyler Seville saw there coming down the straightaway, because that might be full-on pucker factor Zulu for Tyler Seville. Let's see. Let's go on board with him here. You see the slow car? He's not going to be there.
Oh man!
Just the slightest little kiss.
That's what I call threading the needle.
Yeah. So Johnny Avila leaving a nice big gap to the iRacing safety truck at the head of the field. And next time by, I think they should get the 1 to go signal. And they do have the choose rule in effect here. Now, the rule basically is at the start finish line and make it obvious where you're going and don't get off of that lane. So if you're going to take the high line, you got to be up towards the wall. If you're going to be on the inside lane, you got to go well down to the inside of the racetrack. Make it blatantly obvious what you're looking to do. We saw it last season a couple of times, actually, Patrick, where drivers kind of ran like the middle of the racetrack, and they got an EOL from race control for failing to choose.
Yep. That's the great thing about having the live admins. We get to have a choose rule, and if you want to try and sit in the gray area, well, they'll tell you there is no gray area and send you right to the back.
So there we go. At the start-finish line, Kevin Dick going to choose the inside lane. Johnny Avila chooses the outside for the restart. Row number 2 will have Braden Carroll on the inside alongside the 89 of Jeff Yenish. Colton Harvey, Andrew Moore on row 3, Josh Sousey, Mike Larch on row 4. Row 5 will be Troy Haight and Tyler Seville. Sort of got the first caution of this race organically. Now, I would think everybody can make it to lap number 65 at this point on fuel. And even, I'll tell you what, I'm color me shocked here. Johnny Avila's best lap, a 30.007. He's going full James Bond in that black tuxedo up there at the front of the field. But his 15 lap average is a 30.77, or 15 lap average is a 30.775. If they've only lost 7/10 in 30 laps, are we just going to hit like an absolute cliff here? Because green flag comes back out. I would think these cars are already going to be a little bit of a menace in the handling department.
Oh
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting to see if these guys do fall off a cliff, because that's going to determine whether the overcut's going to matter. Does he save it? There's no way.
He saved him.
He didn't
Oh
hit
my
anything.
God.
Oh my goodness. Save of the year candidate already for Braden Carroll.
Well, his tires were dead.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Bring you up the Hot Shoe Raceway instant replay. Check out the 24 machine up on the outside. You see it start to get a little loose. There it takes off.
You can see him get on the brakes, off the brakes, release the power. That's almost like Jimmy Johnson's save at Dover in, 2006, 2007?
Whatever year it was impressive. And importantly here, it doesn't bring out the caution flag.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to trigger cautions here with the mile of apron you have here. Like, you need a serious wreck, like cars coming up a track and killing half the field to get caution.
Well, how about Hunter Waters picking up the cash, at least thus far anyway, from Realty Executive Saskatoon for your hard charger of the night. He is up 14. AJ Digby is up 10. Gagliano, Harvey, and Smith also up 5 or more positions each. I would imagine now we're probably back to talking about this is where things start to settle down a little bit. We had a long green flag run initially. That's kind of the way these Darlington races go. And Patrick, especially in a league as clean as this one is, you're going to log a lot of green flag laps. As we say that, trouble on the speedway. Let's take a look here and see. Pick up the replay here. Andrew Mraz. Wow, that car just snapped up to the outside wall. Locks the brakes down. Oh, and then we're going to keep wadding them up after that. Let's pick up. Let's see here. Who else was back there?
He lucked out because.
Well, let's see. I guess there was not another incident, but wow.
Yeah, Mraz looked out hardcore. Like, when you overcorrect like that, usually your car ends up in pieces. So the fact that it's just a light kiss on the wall, he looked out so hard.
Yeah, you're getting away with one, that's for sure. Let's see. I don't think we're going to have anybody down pit road this time, at least amongst drivers that are in contention here. Let's see. Braden Carroll, Andrew Mraz, both on pit lane. Jim Thorndike, Tim Knott. Not really a surprise that Carroll is on pit lane. He's just going to have to do a pretty big monster stint on these tires, which I guess in some respects actually maybe not a terrible strategy call here by Braden Carroll. Other than unless there's damage.
Yeah, but if he can keep himself on the lead lap, he's going to be just set for the end of the race when it comes to that last pit stop.
Over 42 seconds on pit lane thus far for Braden Carroll. Andrew Mraz starting to make his way back out on the speedway, and it looks like he is just going to come out ahead of the iRacing pace truck. So Braden Carroll spending, let's see, 52.4 seconds on pit lane. You get the damage repair done, and here's where this becomes big, I think. He's going to, when everybody else stops under the lap 65 stage brake caution, he's going to be able to stay out on the racetrack. It's going to put him off sequence, but everybody's
it'll
going
put
to
him right back at the front.
I was going to say, it's going to put him at the front of the field, and I don't want to say you can benefit from having a spin, but, well, maybe you benefit a little bit just by putting you off of what the leaders are doing. If you do what the leaders are doing, you're not going to pass them via strategy.
If you follow the leader, you're gonna follow the leader.
Yeah, you have to do something different, whether it's running a different line or doing a different strategy. You have to do something different than the guy leading the race if you want to lead the race. You can't drive through them, and you can't just sit behind them.
No, and this is not exactly the place where the bump and run is an option either, because everybody's fast up by that outside safer barrier.
I don't know. You might want to ask Logano about that. He seemed to make it work pretty well.
Well, it was funny. I remember when they installed the safer barriers here, and the drivers talked about the fact that it was probably going to kill the racing because you lose about 3 feet of racetrack when they install safer barriers. And that 3 feet was big going into the corners. In hindsight, looking back on it, I think it's actually made the racing a little bit better because you don't have that little bit of extra room. Kind of forces everybody to drive the car a little bit more instead of using that Darlington stripe. Fields off of turn number 4. One more time, y'all at home, go ahead and crank it up. Number 7 up to P2. Oh my goodness.
And more importantly, helping Johnny Avila again early in the season try and get a point lead and extend it. And you still have to remember, there's 3 parts this season, but it's all still one big season. So Johnny has to get back on top of this points championship if he wants to win this deal.
Well, yeah, it was a tight battle in season 1, but I tell you what, Hunter Waters considers himself a championship contender. I would say there's more than 2 that are legitimate championship contenders here. When we saw Colton Harvey in this series last, he was absolutely spectacular. A 55-23 I rating to boot. The man is no slouch.
There's a ton of drivers in this field that could definitely put a huge fight to those top 2. It's just either they haven't been here every single week or just not putting the same consistency as Kevin Dick and Johnny Avila as they have shown. So if I'm one of the crew chiefs or one of the car coaches for these guys, get more consistent and be happy with the 3rd instead of binning it going for 2nd.
Oh, trouble for Johnny Avila.
Oh no!
Wow.
Start talking about consistency, and he spun around, and no caution. He's going to be at the back of the field.
Wow!
Someone send him some more ramen, stat.
Let's take a look here and see if we can see what happened to Johnny Avila. Man, that car got way loose at the exit of turn number 2. Keep your eye on that 63. It started to step out. Oh, just the slightest kiss of the wall. But he slides down to the inside of the racetrack, and I think now this is where we really start to see these tires just absolutely fall off a cliff. Unless you're Hunter Waters. We talked about it in the pre-race, Patrick. Start at the back, nurse your stuff, and when everybody else is slow, you're going to be the guy that's really quick. Hunter Waters, 5-lap average, 30.326. 5-lap average for Kevin Dick, 30.859.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love it just because you know you're going to get a caution now at lap 65. So that's going to bring the rest of the field right to you, and everyone's going to be on brand new tires.
everybody's on brand new tires, but it basically what Hunter Waters did was sacrifice the first stage for the bonus points in the second stage. And we talked about where he was running. I don't know if he was inside the top 10 or not, but that was really a point of consistency with Kevin Dick and Johnny Avila. When you start talking about the championship, the bonus points that are on offer are almost more important than where you finish the race. The difference between second and third is 1 point. The difference between 2 stage wins and 2 stages in 11th is 20 points.
Yeah, so stage points your biggest key. We did the math 2 weeks ago and really calculated that Kevin Dick won that championship on stage points alone, just pointing the championship to death. Where Johnny Avila had the better average finish by a large margin, Kevin Dick had the better stage finish, which matters tenfold. Way more.
Just like Truex back in 2017 when he had like 10,000 stage.
Yeah, that was the key for that Furniture Road team. And quite frankly, we see it this season with Kevin Dick and Johnny Avila, and the bonus points add up in a big way here in the Sim Racers Club Sim Speed Shop Premier Series, as we are down to about 13 laps to go here in stage number 2, following along the battle between Josh Salcy in 11th and Richard Smith II in the 12th position. Smith going to make that pass look easy. Oh, Salcy's up off the wall.
Whoa. That car all out of shape.
Yeah, as you can see, the rear on this car right now is a nightmare. These tires are shot. These guys are just hanging on for dear life. These last 11 laps are going to be like an eternity.
Andrew Mraz coming around Colton Harvey for the third position and starting to open that gap up. Hunter Waters continues to extend his lead over Kevin Dick. Thus far, the only car who is out of the race, 25th place Tony Patton. However, still 19 cars remain on the lead lap. Tim Knott makes the dive bomb on Lee Campbell to pick up position number 13. Andrew Mraz has caught right up to Kevin Dick as well. Now, here's the tire situation, though. Andrew Mraz has been on pit lane, as has Hunter Waters. That's the big one here. Looks like Hunter Waters and Andrew Mraz have both taken tires. Over 15-second pit stops for both the 7 and the 45. That's part of the reason that they're so quick out here right now. But that also means you're not going to have a set in the box for later in the race.
Yeah, I don't know if taking that next set this early on was really a great idea, but maybe if we're just trying to recover some stage points, it might not be the worst idea.
You know what? Going big brain here, assuming you're going to get cautions at about the 2/3 point of the race. If you're Hunter Waters, Andrew Mraz, you break the race down into thirds, now you're talking about having basically 3, instead of one really long stint, you're basically going to have 3 kind of similar-ish length stints. If the cautions fall your way, it's absolutely a race-winning strategy for Hunter Waters and Andrew Mraz.
Yeah, it's a big gamble, but with the reward of a big payoff. It's that high risk, high reward kind of deal.
Well, that Hunter Waters was the slowest car in qualifying on outright pace. If you take that number as, there was no cheesing for hard charger or anything involved, now you're talking about a car that was not the fastest here tonight, having a realistic shot at the win, and you're doing it on strategy.
Yeah, that's what I love about races like this. Like Darlington, it does not reward the guy who's the fastest. Like the guy who can conserve, who can strategize, who can think, is who gets rewarded by the lady in black. So if you're just mindlessly just like going full throttle, you're gonna have a bad day. Either killing your tires or killing the wall. Probably both at the same time. So if you can think, strategize, and know how much you really need to push the car, you'll end up with a pretty good day.
Seeing Tyler Seville coming around Andrew Moore Jr. Wow, big save by A.J. Digby. He almost got into Andrew Moore Jr. on the exit of the corner, almost looped it in front of Troy Hay. And Johnny Avila starting to charge his way back through the field. He's up to the 12th position, but he has not yet made the tire stop. So that car is going to show more in terms of outright pace the longer we get into this run. He has been the quickest car all night, leading a race high 38 laps. Hunter Waters actually now second in the laps led department with 16.
Not only that, but Johnny Avila has 2 laps to get back up into the 10th position to cover any stage points at all. And this is exactly how Kevin Dick got him. Just Johnny Avila might still win this race, but he's missing out on 10 points here.
Yeah, it's a 7-point swing, or 8-point swing in stage 2 with Kevin Dick currently holding on to the 3rd position. Just 2 laps to go here in stage number 2. Typically, caution flag will fly when the 10th place car has taken that green and white checkered. That currently Andrew Moore Jr. He's about 14 seconds or so back of the race leader, almost half a racetrack actually. Mraz is closing, but it may not be enough here at the end of stage 2. The gap is at, well, it was at 7/10. Now it's, yeah, right back in that 7/10 range. Off at turn 4, green and white checkered flag in the air. Hunter Waters picks up the win in Northland Leisure stage number 2. And he's got to keep his foot in it here. There we go. Now the caution flag flies. So now this is where things get interesting. Do we see Hunter Waters and Andrew Mraz on pit lane? Hunter Waters has 36 laps on this set of tires. Andrew Mraz has 25. I would think you have to take the tires now, because if you're going to try to run 36 lap tires, you're cooked on this restart.
You are getting lapped twice.
Yeah, but if we get another caution in, I don't know, maybe lap 75, 80, you're going to be golden for the finish of this race.
If you even stay on the lead lap long enough.
Yeah. Here come your race leaders down pit lane, led by Hunter Waters. And it looks like everybody on the lead lap will be making an appearance on pit lane this time. Well, almost everybody. Tim Knott staying out on the racetrack. Waters hits his marks, and let's see. I am not seeing the car go up on the jacks. Fuel only for Hunter Waters in the number 7. Looks like the same story for Andrew Mraz as well. Johnny Avila just now getting to his pit box. Tim Knott did not come down pit lane that last time by. We'll see if he does this time. But Tim Knott stays out. Andrew Mraz, Hunter Waters, both pit stops under 10 seconds. Kevin Dick, the first car to take tires. He's going to be fourth in line for the restart, followed by Colton Harvey, Jeff Yenich, Mike Larch, Tyler Seville, AJ Digby, and Andrew Moore Jr. Looks like Mike Larch may be on pit lane this time by. Shake-up in the complexion of this race in a very big way here, Patrick, because Tim Knott is a guy that has not been out front tonight. Andrew Mraz has been pretty quick. Hunter Waters he didn't show speed in qualifying, but now you have 3 cars at the front of the line. That's a lot different than having to get past 2 in those first couple of quarters.
Yeah, you can go 2 for 1, but I don't think I've ever seen 3 for 1 done before. Man, not only that, but Hunter Waters also, I think his qualifying attempt was by design. He's done this a couple weeks now. Actually, he's done this a lot, where he goes to get that hard charger bonus point. So just runs in a kind of slow qualifying time, puts himself at the back of the pack, just keeps himself eligible, and goes out there and runs his way all the way up to the front. So I'm thinking he was sandbagging a little bit.
The other big story here is Johnny Avila. He will restart in the 11th position as the field will start to double up here. Kevin Dick, the first car on fresh tires, will have the outside lane. You almost wonder if Hunter Waters is doing at least a little bit thinking, I've run with Tim Knott more than I've run with Andrew Mraz. I have a pretty good idea of what he's going to do on this restart. Will be Knott and Mraz on row number 1. Row 2 will have Hunter Waters and Kevin Dick, Colton Harvey and Jeff Yenich on row 3. Row 4, Tyler Seville and AJ Digby. Row 5, Andrew Moore Jr. and Johnny Avila. Pace truck is in. Field coming through turn number 4 and down towards the restart zone. And James, now this is where the race really starts to kick off. If you're everybody, in fact, I think everybody at the front of the field at this point still has a set of tires left to take on the caution. Can Tim Knott, Hunter Waters, and Andrew Mraz hold on here at the front of the field? Waters already starting to fall back. Kevin Dick comes past. Colton Harvey comes past. Now Jeff Yenich is past. Kevin Dick looking inside of Mraz into 3. He wants second position.
Almost making contact, trying to get it. Hunter Waters, almost loses it back there. He's just kind of cycle his way all the way to the back.
Yeah, I wonder if it's a little bit of some self-preservation there. Like, he knows that guys are going to be coming hard and fast with pressure tires, so he's just wanting to stay as far away from that as possible. Because, like, you're going to have to do some sort of tire conservation to get his tires as far as they can go, because you're kind of banking on a caution in their shoes, but, like, you also can't bank on a caution. Like, you can't completely run them out expecting a caution to come out at the time you need it and have it go completely green to the end, and you end up having to pit again because you blew out the tire.
Well, and these guys, they don't have them. They only have 2 sets in the box. So at this point, it is, let me see.
I thought Waters just took fuel. That's why he still stayed up at the front.
Correct, but he has 1 set left. He's going to have to stop before everybody else. So unless the caution times out absolutely perfect that everybody is going to come down pit lane, and even still, that doesn't necessarily help him either, because being back in, let's see, where is he now? In the 11th position. That's not necessarily it's almost like he needs everybody to cycle through the pit stops and get the caution timed just right where he's basically lapped the field.
Pretty much, but like he still has to stretch these tires out a lot further than anyone else had. So he can't go full bore here right off the bat.
Cue the Jaws theme. Johnny Avila right up behind Jeff Yanish. He's going to take position number 3. A little bit of a soft slider there into the corner. Dip that car below the white dashed line onto the IndyCar banking portion of the racetrack. Put Johnny Avila back up to position number 3. Give the shout to AJ Digby here as well. Made the strategy call work, did not qualify well. I believe it was 19th is where Digby qualified here tonight. Now up inside the top 5, and as it stands right now, he is your hard charger of the race, up 16 positions to run in the 5th position. Good run here for Colton Harvey as well. Colton currently running position number 2. He is up 10. Richard Smith the 2nd, up 8. Richard Fletcher up 7. And Jim Thorndike with a nice run, up 6. Here as we are now into the second half of this race here at the Lady in Black.
Oh,
Caution
there we
is out. Yellow on the racetrack, and it looks like trouble for Lee Campbell. Let's take a look here, back everything up, and see what happened to Campbell. Keep your eye on that black and blue Mountain Dew Zero Sugar. Wow. Just try.
Oh, man, full Chastain.
Full Chastain into the corner. Slides down.
Harry Gant. I was going to say, Harry Gant did it before it was cool.
Yes.
Does that make Harry Gant a hipster?
Maybe?
Let us know in the comments what you think. Is Harry Gant a hipster? That's fantastic. Braden Carroll on pit lane. Tim Knott is on pit lane. Jim Thorndike, Josh Salcy also on the pit lane here this time. Oh! Here's the check-in from Race Control in the comments. He lost his screen.
Oh!
Mechanical failure. For...
Rip.
Yeah. That's a tough break for Lee Campbell.
Now, losing the screen, like, did the screen get unplugged? Did it just fail? Or did he have his kid, like Denny Hamlin's kid, just walk over with the remote and smack the red button on top?
Yeah. Quick little power cycle there on the monitor for Lee Campbell, but should get the one to go signal next time by, and we'll flip the graphics over here to show you how many laps are remaining in this one. Inside of 50 to go, and James, I would tend to think the pit window is at least open It may not be the ideal time to come down pit lane, but you could make a final stop anywhere from this point on in.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of right at the cliff, so you could and make it with a lot of save and a lot of prayer, but it's not a bad way to go if you pit right now.
It's almost like this is the caution flag where Hunter Waters needs to pit.
I would agree. If I'm Waters, I'm 100% coming in.
I got to give a shout to Brad Allison checking in the comments. He's a man from a land down under. What's going on, Brad? Hope you are doing well here. Hopefully we get to see you back here in the Sim Speed Shop Premier Series sooner rather than later. The field is doubled up. Kevin Dick, Colton Harvey on row 1. Johnny Avila, Jeff Yenish on row 2. Andrew Moore and AJ Digby on row number 3. Row 4 will have Troy Haight and Tyler Seville. Row 5 looks like it will be the 2 of Mike Larch lining up alongside the 45 of Andrew Mraz. Yeah, I forget. Australia is on weird time. Approaching Adelaide City at the moment.
Yeah, where it's almost bedtime here, Brett Allison is already halfway through his day, had breakfast already, and approaching Adelaide.
Yeah, he says he's touring Australia at the moment.
Yeah, I believe it's probably like around 11 or 12 over there right now.
Green flag goes back in the air. Great restart for Kevin Dick and Johnny Avila. Top 4 single file. 5th place going to be the good battle between AJ Digby and Andrew Moore. Oh, and caution is out. Back-to-back cautions. I don't see a reason.
Debris caution.
Well, let's see. May have been, let's see.
Hot dog wrapper on the backstretch?
Nope. Oh, we've got it. The replay guy doesn't suck anymore. Take a look here, right on the restart. See what happens to Lee Campbell. Car just broke loose. And around
Almost
he goes.
identical incident to John Moeller's.
Yeah.
Almost identical to the second Wattsman.
Yeah, it just... Now, these cars aren't H patterns. I wonder if that's just another mechanical, or if it's an iRacing update issue, where just you pull the lever back to go up a gear, and it decides, no, we're going down a gear today.
I don't care what it is. I don't wreck when I do this, so...
Yeah, that's fantastic audio.
I'm suing. My likeness was used without my consent. DMCA.
Now, I've got a question for Brad Allison. Now, I know they call it Macca's over there instead of McDonald's, but is it still a McGriddle, or do y'all have some weird name for that too? Like the breakfast sandwich, it's a pancake with the sausage in the middle and the pancake on the other side?
It's a McWombat.
I can't tell if you're being serious or not.
I'm 100% joking. I don't know. It's sad that you thought I was serious.
The confidence you said that with.
It's called acting.
Oh,
That was like
goodness.
Wes Shire playing GeoGuessr confidence.
Yeah, if you are from Australia, you can send your hate mail to Bizzle at nationalracingnetwork.com.
Wes has so much confidence. He's like, oh, that's definitely Sweden. Antarctica? Come on.
So it's a quarter pounder in Australia, but in France it's a Royale with cheese. Or no, in the Netherlands it's a Royale. I forget the line. But they've got the metric system in Australia. I am confused now.
Well, do they still call the currency pounds? Does that mean it's only 25 cents?
No, they are Australian dollars.
We've gotten so off the rails. We
Yeah.
need this race to go back green. I'd like to apologize for all the Aussies watching tonight.
So, under this caution flag, actually, no, it was under the last caution flag, Quentin Clark and Braden Carroll both came down pit lane. Nobody else has used up their second set of tires, we think. Kevin Dick getting dangerously close to taking away the laps led bonus from Johnny Avila. That's a big one that Avila needs to take back here. Brad Allison says France is a Royale with cheese.
See, that it makes sense because the metric system, just like the movie.
I need to start drinking.
You mean we're not? Feels like we have been.
Nope, I'm celebrating Ryan Blaney with a body armor tonight.
Yeah, I've got a root beer tonight.
We actually show up for the SRC races, James. These guys are talented.
We do?
We figure we'll bring our, well, B-team level talent to the airwaves here for these guys as well. Coming up to the restart, going to be Kevin Dick and Johnny Avila on row 1. Row 2, Colton Harvey, Jeff Yenish. Row 3, Andrew Moore Jr. and A.J. Digby. Row 4, Tyler Seville and Mike Larch. Troy Haight and Andrew Mraz on row number 5. In the restart zone, green flag goes back in the air. Kevin Dick going to lead the field down to turn number 1. Johnny Avila's going to have to contend with Colton Harvey. Oh, hold on to it. Wow, what a save by Andrew Moore Jr. off of turn 2.
Oh boy, 3 wide. That's
yeah.
well.
Yeah, 3 wide. Wow, what a move by Braden Carroll. That's a blue light special, 2 for 1. Oh, buddy, hold on to it.
That didn't look like a big wiggle, but it was a big wiggle for him. Everything wiggled.
Yeah, we need to get that t-shirt made. Man, that 24 machine of Braden Carroll is lightning quick. He is on fresher tires than everybody else. But with 42 to go, if we don't get another caution quickly, you may not have time to put those new tires to full effect. The caution comes too late, maybe you can hold them off at the front.
Yeah, I know he's going to be doing the anti-caution dance.
I believe you're not supposed to dance. If you dance, the caution will come out because you're not holding on to the steering wheel.
Damn it, that's what I've been doing wrong
Yeah.
all this time.
Slide up to the front of the field. Top 4 have broken away. Johnny Avila, Kevin Dick, Colton Harvey, Jeff Yenish. They are holding, it's a 1.5 second gap from the leader to 5th place, Andrew Moore, and 0.8 of a second between Yenish in 4th and Moore in the 5th position. It'll be 40 laps to go this time. Now, James, at what point, you have a set of tires in the box, but at what point does it become too late to use them? Because if not everybody comes down pit lane, you just have too many cars to pass.
Yeah, but like the performance delta is a lot bigger than people realize, especially at a track like here that just eats tires. So it's a huge advantage for the cars that pitted compared to the cars that stayed out. So you don't need a whole heck of a lot of time. I'd honestly say maybe if you're up at the front, maybe 10 laps to go is too late. If you're 15 laps to go, provided that no other further cautions, I think you're still good depending on how many other people stay out. Because of that and because of how ill handling these cars are going to be with 15 laps to go after doing 30, 40 plus laps, I don't realistically think there's going to be many guys that think they can do the no tires and survive on that strategy.
Well, and I'll tell you what, I'm lost. Call me confused and all sorts of things. We're seeing new fastest laps of the race being put up. Quentin Clark just set the new fastest lap of the race at a 29.698. Now, he's only on, he was on 9-lap old tires when he did that run. But usually you don't get faster the longer you go here at Darlington.
No, especially with how abrasive this track is.
Braden Carroll putting those new Goodyear Racing Eagles to good use. Coming around Tyler Seville to put himself up into the 8th position. You almost have to think of your Carroll. You don't want to drive the car too hard, because if we get a caution, everybody else is going to pit. It's almost like you want to be in full tire conservation mode.
But then, and see, this is always the danger for me when I'm on the strategy they're on, is that, yeah, you have a huge advantage on tires, but you don't want to cash that in too quickly, because you feel like you're Superman on the fresher tires. You're pushing a lot harder than you realistically should, and then by the time, like 10, 20 laps in, when you finally get to the front, you've already burned off your stuff and your advantage is already gone, and you're just as bad, if not at times worse, than all the cars that had stayed out. So you still need a lot of discipline. Like when I'm on these strategies, I still try to putt around and take it easy the first 5, 10, 15 laps of the run, and then I start to push. And then it becomes easier because you have such an advantage that you don't really have to put a whole lot of effort into your passing. You can just go to the inside. The car on your outside will try to use the outside line advantage, but because they have so much less grip, you can just breeze right by.
Well, following along now with the progress of Braden Carroll, he's going to be in the small box in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. The battle for the race lead up in the big box. That's Johnny Avila and Kevin Dick. And this is a night that even with a win, I think Kevin Dick comes out ahead in the points as caution is out. Yellow flag on the racetrack. Take a look and see if we can see what happened here. Oh, big. That hit was huge. Let's back that replay up. Show you this one real quick here is Tim Knott and Tom Wilhite. Oh, man, little bit of a wiggle.
Oh, man, just absolutely got doored.
And then pounds the wall. Yeah, but if you look at it, go back here a little bit. I don't know that he got doored per se.
Yeah. I overcorrect.
Play this one
maybe.
back. Yeah, he kind of got a little bit loose. Wilhite kind of came up the racetrack and
It just spun him around. There was no saving that car to begin with.
So now Johnny Avila stays out on the racetrack. Let's see, where is he here? Kevin Dick leading everybody else down pit lane. Oh, look at that. Kevin Dick doing the drive-through of pit lane. He did not stop in his box. Jeff Yenish taking tires, Andrew Moore taking tires, AJ Digby as well.
Interesting.
You almost wonder, is this a scenario where you almost hesitate to give up the tire advantage? If Johnny Avila is going to try to make this thing go the rest of the way, you might as well also.
Yeah, but with the amount of cars that did pit, I don't know that would have been a terrible thing to come down the pits and throw that fresh set of tires on.
Well, let's see. See if we can get a quick word in here with Kevin Dick. And Kevin, interesting call here. You made the drive straight through pit lane. What was the thought process on that one?
Well, I got an unsafe pit entrance. So if I'm going to start at the back with fresh tires, that's no good. So I'm going to hope we run, 10, 15 laps here, get another caution, then bolt stickers on and see if we can drive back through these guys.
Gotcha. All right, brother. Well, good luck the rest of the way. We'll be following it for sure. Thank you much for coming to check in with us.
Thanks.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Huge
That is
penalty.
unfortunate.
That's rough, buddy.
Is that easy to do here at Darlington? I know the pit entrance is
Yes.
narrow.
So the thing about Darlington is, see the yellow line right there on the apron? There's a cone right there.
Yep.
You have to be on the inside of that cone. Otherwise, it's an unsafe pit entry. And it's deceptively hard to sometimes to pull into pit road in time to get below the cone. Like, I've done it a couple times myself. Darlington is underrated when it comes to hard pit road entry.
I'm still, it was under caution.
That does not change anything. It will still hit you with unsafe pit entry and unsafe pit
I'm
exit.
saying how you just, that's almost like cerebral flatulation territory.
Yes. I'm not saying it wasn't one of those.
Or
I'm
a
just
very
saying
late
it's
call.
not as it's not as much of a doofus move as you would think. It is fairly easy to do here. It's still a brain fart, but it's not as egregious as you would think. Trying to save some face for Kevin.
Well, now Tyler Seville and Johnny Avila going to be on the front row for the restart here, and everybody behind them will be on fresh tires. Avila gets the great jump. Seville, Digby, and Yenish all going to be tight. Oh, the caution's back out. We've got big mess. Big time mess back in the pack. Gonna take a look here and see if we can't figure out who and where that carnage was.
I sure hope Kevin wasn't involved in that.
No, let's see. Looks like it was Hunter Waters. Let's take a look and see. We'll get ready to fire this replay up here.
Oh.
Looks almost like
Oh.
Hunter just went around.
Yeah.
See if we can't get a different look at that one here. Maybe that's a good time to break out the NRN drone on this one. Follow everybody down here into turn number 1. Was that net code? Oh,
I
Kevin
think there was
Dick got
net
a
code.
piece of it. It looked like both cars reacted. But in a really odd way.
Yeah, almost like the sim thought both cars were where they weren't and decided they were there anyway.
So now Kevin Dick able to come down pit road and put those sticker Goodyears on. But he will restart this race from the 18th position. And now with 24 to go, at this point, I guess this is a deal of Johnny Avila and Tyler Seville have made their bed. They have to sleep in it. There's no way that I don't think you want to try to pass 18 cars in 20 laps.
Nope. Not enough fall off from the rest of the field to make that work.
Right, because they only have 6 laps on their tires. So I guess
Yeah, that's a small difference, but not enough of a difference to where you can get back to the front. You're just praying at this point. What they want to see is a lot more caution. Kill off as many laps as possible.
yeah, that's one of those deals that, well, quite frankly, I think that Johnny and Tyler are hoping we see a pile more cautions laid here. Again, this is Chris Graham, joined in the booth by Patrick Byrne and James Watson. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us here. We appreciate y'all hanging out, especially our channel, I forget what we're calling them, patrons, whatever they are. If you're a member on YouTube, thank you very much. We appreciate it. If you're interested in one of those, there is information in the video description. Super chat, super thanks also available. We greatly appreciate those. And that comes off the bill for the series as they come in. So everything, all of your contributions makes things a little bit cheaper and easier on the series admins. Now again, field's going to be doubled up. And how about the 24 of Braden Carroll? He is going to restart inside of row number 2 alongside Jeff Yenish. Again, the top 2 long stints on those Goodyears. 42 laps for Johnny Avila and Tyler Seville. Jeff Yenish, Braden Carroll, and everybody else on the lead lap has about 7 laps on their tires. It'll be 21 to go, this time by the start-finish line. Avila and Seville lead the field down to green. Still 19 cars on the lead lap. Oh, and Carroll almost lost it on the restart.
Woo. There's
Oh,
3
boy,
wide
there-
back there.
This is not going to end well.
Yeah, they're fine.
Somehow they all got through it, but Carroll falls back to the 9th position. Hold on to it, Large! Wow, what a save!
They were right there while he was saving the car.
I thought for sure that was going to end bad. Oh my god.
Oh.
They've wrecked about 4 times. 5 times now.
Andrew Mraz, Colton Harvey making contact. Josh Salcy's right there. Oh,
Whoa, I
guys, they
saw
did it
someone get
again.
loose.
Someone's losing it in the back of the field.
Make that 7 times that they haven't actually wrecked. Good
And
God.
Braden Carroll is on a tear through this field again. He's already back up to 4th with 19 to go. Andrew Moore Jr. looking inside of Tyler Seville. Moore trying to carry the banner for Pie-Eyed Racing. Seville looking back inside it. Oh my goodness, what a show here at Darlington. Moore able to hold on to the spot. Now he's going to have to try to hold off Braden Carroll, though, as Quentin Clark looks outside of Seville. He'll get that pass completed. Seville starting to fall back through the field. These guys are going to catch Johnny Avila in a hurry. Oh, Carroll and Moore almost make contact down the front straightaway. Oh, Moore bounces it off the wall. Carroll's down to the inside.
Bizzle.
Clark gave him the business.
Slide
Off for 2.
down.
We're right back to where we were. Still, Andrew Moore Jr., Braden Carroll, finally getting things settled down, back single file, and Johnny Avila loves every bit of that.
That is just so disheartening if you're Carroll. Like, you thought you had the move done when he hit the wall, and now all of a sudden, you're right back to square one, and you're just absolutely killing your tires trying to make this move.
Carroll able to clear Avila. Excuse me, able to clear Andrew Moore Jr.
Maybe that might be accurate in a couple laps here.
Well, we'll see. It's still a 35-lap difference in tires between Johnny Avila and Braden Carroll. Kevin Dick coming around Mike Larch up into the 13th position. Man, Braden Carroll's going to have to get a move on if he wants to get around Johnny Avila and hold the race lead. Because Andrew Moore Jr. and Quentin Clark are right there off at turn number 2. Oh, the bizzle by Avila. It may not work. Carroll inside. He takes the race lead.
And Moore's going to be right on his bumper. He gets him a little bit loose.
$13 to go with the lady in black. A little bit of a twitch there from Avila on the exit at 2. That'll open the door for Moore to have the look inside into 3. Woo! Oh, that's tight mid-corner. Clark gonna give Moore the shove. New fastest lap of the race, Braden Carroll, 29.672. He's out to almost a 1-second lead already. Avila now gonna have another hornet's nest right there. Clark, Harvey, Yenish, all trying to come past. Clark bounces it off the safer barrier.
It's just a dawn to the trap. He's all good.
A lot of smoke down the front straightaway, but we stay green. Oh, Avila's Harvey sideways. Avila hard into the inside wall. Caught caution is out with 10 to go.
Well, I think he's going to be taking tires now.
Let's take a look at this incident. Let's see. There we go. Grab the Hot Shoe Raceway instant replay. Johnny Avila got a little loose. Colton Harvey almost goes around. Wow, Harvey took multiple hits there, but Avila's car kind of starting to come back up the racetrack is what brought out the caution flag. Now the question becomes, Tyler Seville, Johnny Avila, and AJ Digby all on pit lane for their final set of tires. And with 21 laps on them, on everybody else's, maybe the help of a caution flag or so, and some overtime, all of a sudden this race may not be over.
Yeah, I think they're definitely going to make up a lot of ground with the tire delta. If it goes green, I don't think they'll be able to get back to the front, but I could see them getting back up into the top 10 fairly easy.
Well, yeah, it'll be 17th, 18th, and 19th is where they're going to come back out onto the racetrack. The pit lane penalty for Kevin Dick may not matter all that much in the grand scheme of things. He is back up to the 7th position, going to start no worse than the 4th row on this restart. At the head of the field, Braden Carroll and Andrew Moore Jr. They will be followed by Quentin Clark, Colton Harvey, and Jeff Yenish. It may not be much, but Kevin Dick's tires are 7 laps fresher than the 6 cars running in front of him in line. James, do you think is it enough of a gap to take advantage of, or is it still a little bit too narrow?
With his skill level, I think it's enough to grab a few positions, but to get back up and wrestle the lead away, I don't think it's enough. I've been wrong many times in the past, but...
Well, here's where things get interesting. His pie-eyed racing teammate, Andrew Moore Jr., will line up on the front row for this one, or at least no worse than third. You would think the front row. If he races Braden Carroll really, really hard, that does slow everybody up, and it's going to give Kevin Dick the chance to make up some positions. For Seville, Digby, and Avila, that's the order that they came off of pit lane. So as they stand right now, Seville 16th, Digby 17th, and Johnny Avila in the 18th position as we're going to double up for a restart with 5 laps to go here at Darlington. Moore and Carroll on the front row, followed by Harvey and Clark. Those two have been a blast to watch tonight. Row 3 will have Josh Salcy and Jeff Yenish. Row 4 will be Mike Larch, it looks like, and Kevin Dick. Fifth row on the restart, I believe, is going to be Troy Haight, and lining up alongside, well, maybe not. Either way, pace truck is pulling in. Carroll bringing the field down very slowly. Green flag back in the air. Oh,
Oh, no.
Harvey spins down the front straightaway. There you see Colton Harvey sideways up against the inside wall.
Now that was a camera view.
Yeah, you can't park there, son.
Top two easily able to check out. Yenish and Moore.
Whoa.
They're banging quarter.
Oh, they're wadding it up.
We've got cars going around in the back of the pack. Johnny Avila's
It's
going
a
to be
parking
involved. Avila's
Man.
in it. Looks like Mike Larch is in it. Let's take a look here at the Hot Shoe Raceway instant replay. See if we can see what happened here. Oh, several cars making big contact. Tyler Seville's involved in that one. Mraz was involved in that. Lee Campbell, Johnny Avila. So now the question is, who has what damage? Does anybody require repair work?
I'm going to guess that a handful of cars are going to require repair work now. Now, whether or not they take it, I don't know.
Yeah, Brad Allison checking in here again. And I agree with you. It's been a long time since we've seen this many cautions in a Sim Racers Club event. And there are potentially either post-race penalties. Every incident is looked at. If a driver does not claim the caution, the penalties are a little bit stiffer. There's a whole penalty structure here, Patrick, for how they handle incidents on the racetrack, and you can be given racecraft penalties that total up here. And because of this race tonight, you've got to go another, 4 races before you start getting rid of them again?
Yeah, it's not a overly harsh system. It's not like if you cause a caution, you're going to be booted. But it is stiff enough where, hey, if you cause 2-3 cautions tonight, you might be parked tonight, and you might be parked for another week. So really, with only 3 laps to go, if you've been involved in a bunch of incidents that questionably may or may not have been your fault, it might not be a bad idea to just pull it off, cut your losses here, and definitely practice for next week and run as clean as you possibly can.
Yeah, because next week things don't get any easier. We head to North Wilkesboro Speedway. If you thought tonight had a bunch of cautions, that old short track in Wilkes County, North Carolina could have something to say about it. Now, with 3 laps to go, we are looking at overtime here in the Sim Racers Club Premier Series, the SimSpeedShop.com Premier Series. Got to remember to say another just huge thank you to everybody that's come on board to help sponsor this league's events. That includes Real Assist putting up some the entitlement sponsorship dollars for tonight's event. Also, Realty Executive Saskatoon, sponsors of the Most Laps Led, Hard Charger, and Most Positions Lost prizes for this season. Johnny Avila will claim the Most Laps Led award tonight. Hard Charger looks like that currently belongs to Jim Thorndike, up 15 positions to run in 8th. The biggest loser of the night looks like it is Johnny Avila, who is down 12. Not many times we hear Johnny Avila talked about in that award. Northland Leisure putting up, Northland Leisure Products, excuse me, the sponsorship of our stage breaks this season. Custom Paints and Diecast are seasonal and grand champion prize sponsors. Thank you very much to the whole team over there at Custom Paints and Diecast. Sim Speed Shop is the series entitlement sponsor with season champion, safe driver drawing prizes, and the grand championship prizes for the top 2. Whole lot of stuff going on there, courtesy of simspeedshop.com. Thank you very much for your support of the Sim Racers Club. Field is doubled up. It will be Braden Carroll on the outside, Jeff Yenish on the inside. Carroll is the control car for this restart. Row 2, Quentin Clark and Kevin Dick. Andrew Moore Jr., Josh Salsey on row 3. Haight and Thorndike, row 4. Hunter Waters is back up inside the top 10. Oh, this is going to be absolutely wild. Braden Carroll has almost spun the car out twice on restarts tonight. Not going to do it this time. Green flag in the air. We're back underway at Darlington.
All they got to do is keep it clean and green.
Oh, and Clark
hell of-
bounces it off the wall.
Whoa!
He's still bouncing off the wall.
And there it is again.
Caution is out again. Trouble on the racetrack, possibly Lee Campbell involved in this one. Oh, the 23 of Richard Smith going around in a big way. That's where the back off was for Lee Campbell. Now we're going to have overtime. Go number 2.
Yeah, an interesting point is that there is a time limit for these races. It's not like we can just go on forever. Eventually, we are going to hit that limit.
The time limit is 1 hour and 50 minutes. We are currently at 1 hour and 37 minutes on this one. Dean Gagliano getting another lap back, which I believe is going to put him back on the lead lap. That car
You'll
had
love to see it.
big trouble early in the race. He took advantage at least 4 times tonight. He's been the lucky dog recipient. How about the damage on the front end of Jeff Yenish's car? That car's got left side damage, left rear, but the whole front end of that car is caved in as well. Still running up here in position number 2. Hunter Waters back up to position at number 8. Johnny Avila just coming around Lee Campbell, it looks like. He will restart this race. At least he will be 14th in line when they get to the choose code. Now, with these laps circulating at about 1:18 per under caution, I think they can do one more green-white checkered, but that might be it.
Yeah, unless we start going to quickie yellows, which I don't believe there's a provision in the rules for this series for quickie yellows.
It's funny, usually we're talking about these races being over in a hurry, but not tonight. Field gets the 1 to green, and how about it? Braden Carroll and Jeff Yenish both elect to take the outside. That's going to put Quentin Clark up on the front row. Andrew Moore Jr. inside of row number 2. Row 3 will be Josh Sousey and Kevin Dick. Row 4, Troy Haight and Jim Thorndike. And on the 5th row, looks like it will be Hunter Waters and AJ Digby. Tyler Seville, Colton Harvey on row 6. Back to row 7, Richard Fletcher and Johnny Avila. Race control checking in on the YouTube comments. We will not go to quick yellow, and it could just be a rain cloud. Allegedly. So now, Braden Carroll, again the control car. Great start again by Carroll. Yenish and Clark will be side by side into 1. Kevin Dick outside of Andrew Moore Jr. Sousey going to be right there as well. Moore, a little bit of a wiggle. Oh man, they're throwing blocks all over. Oh, they're throwing blocks at the front too. Wow. Clark with the huge bizzle on Kevin Dick, almost down onto the apron. Clark
He got the move done.
White flag is out, 1 lap to go here at Darlington. Is Kevin Dick going to be able to get around Braden Carroll? Incident on the racetrack. Looks like Lee Campbell, Tyler Seville have trouble. We're going to stay green. Through turns 3 and 4, checkered flag will go in the air, and Braden Carroll kicks off the season with a win at Darlington. Quentin Clark comes home second with a new fastest lap of the race on the final lap. Braden Carroll picking up the real assist race win. While he burns them down on the front straightaway. Let's take a look at your race results. 138 laps, almost 140 minutes, or 1 hour and 40 minutes it took to run this one. Braden Carroll gets the win over Quentin Clark by 1/4 of a second. Jeff Yenish rounds out the podium. Andrew Moore Jr. and Kevin Dick for Pie-Eyed Racing complete the top 5. Josh Sousey comes home 6th, AJ Digby 7th, Jim Thorndike 8th, Troy Haight in the 9th position, and 10th will belong to Hunter Waters. 11 through 20, Colton Harvey, Mike Larch, Johnny Avila, Richard Smith II, Richard Fletcher, Dean Gagliano, Lee Campbell, Tyler Seville, Tom Wilhite, and Andrew Mraz. And your final 5 finishers here tonight: Tim Knott, John Moeller, Anthony Handley, J.D. Wardlow, and Tony Patton. Man, I'll tell you what, still, all in all, pretty fantastic race from the stars and cars of the Sim Racers Club. we'll get ready for our victory lane interviews here. Let's see. Let's bring in our race winner, Mr. Braden Carroll. And Braden, I'll tell you what, the car looked really, really good tonight, but it seemed like you were half sideways, backwards, and all over the place at times, too. It was a handful.
Well, dude, you have no idea. I wrecked my whole car under caution on like the lap 30 caution. I just was not paying attention. Gave myself a 5.5 minutes of damage and a meatball flag. I thought it was over.
Well, I'll tell you what, this wasn't a strategy thing. This was nothing more than outright speed, though, to put that 24 car in victory lane, because you were quick. Every restart seemed pretty good. There were a couple of times a little squirrely, but that's kind of just nature of the beast stuff here at Darlington.
Yeah. Normally I'd been starting in second gear, and I put it in first because I was right up in the second row. And when I hit the gas, it pulled to the right, and I didn't want to hit anybody, so I just threw my wheel to the left, hoping not to cause a caution. And it didn't, but I guess it all worked out. I was really just hoping not to get anybody involved.
Well, then we start getting those green-white checkers, and I would imagine probably makes you a little bit nervous. You have Quentin, who was super quick. Jeff was quick all night. And kind of everybody was on the same tire strategy until Kevin got there. And now it seemed like you had 4 or 5 cars that you kind of had to keep in the back of your head, not just who was on the front row with you.
Well, I don't. Well, I think we had like 10 laps left, and I had like a second and a half over Andrew, 77, and then the caution came out, and then they just kept coming, and I was just like, one of these times I'm just gonna mess up the restart, and that's gonna be that. That's all I could think about. So I never took it out of first gear. I was just playing it safe in second and taking the top, and it worked. So,
well, I'll tell you what, it was pretty darn spectacular, the show you put on here tonight. Congratulations on the win. Great way to kick off a second championship season, this second season, I should say, for the Sim Racers Club. And before we let you go, make sure you do all your big sponsor plugs and thank yous.
yeah, thanks to the Zeem Setup Shop for putting some logos on my car, and Cody with Money Ship Media for that big old hood sponsor. Looks good as ever. And Johnny and Colton for doing a bunch of practice with me before the race started.
All right, buddy. Well, congratulations on the win here once again. Thank you very much for coming to hang out with us here. And, man alive, that was a pretty darn spectacular show put on by Braden Carroll, our race winner. Another guy who was just as exciting to watch tonight. He was sideways, I think possibly backwards at one point. Quentin Clark, man, talk us through the night, because it was a hell of a show you put on for us.
Chris, thank you. I think the only conclusion I've been able to come to is the damage must have helped me. I have no idea, because I felt so slow in practice, and then I wrecked early, and I was like, well, I just gotta hope hopefully I can get my laps back and get a top 15, and then just kept digging, and there I was, and I wanted it, and I was just pushing as hard as I could, hoping the 24 would make a mistake. That was the only chance I could beat him on a green-white checkered. But holy crap, man!
Yeah, it was. It really kind of a fun one to watch from our perspective, because guys like you were not only high, wide, and handsome, and sometimes, well, low down and dirty, but it was also fun to watch kind of the strategy of things. How much tire saving did you have to do versus needing to keep that car quick and having to keep coming back towards the front?
Well, I saved. I ran until almost lap 100 on the first set of tires, because I really didn't have any reason to change tires, since I was just trying to get my laps back. So, and I was just cruising in the back for so long that when I pitted, I really hadn't burned them up too much, and felt like I had some speed still. So I was like, well, all right, well, I'll just get tires here and just keep getting tires. Now I've saved both sets for the last 30 laps, and that seemed to have worked out too. So, I hate not getting stage points, but I'm relieved I had a decent finish, because to make up for it, because I mean, nobody wants to wreck at the beginning, but the tire saving ended up helping me at the end, I guess.
Well, I tell you, it was a great call. Whatever the strategy call was, I would love to know the mental gymnastics you go through to make those calls and say, hey, I'm going to have 2 sets in the box. That means you did 100 laps on a set of tires. It's crazy. But congratulations on the podium here. And before we let you go, make sure you get all those sponsor plugs and thank yous taken care of as well.
Yeah, huge thanks to my Riot Motorsports teammates. Sorry to see them all have rough nights, but really appreciate all their support. Constantly helping each other learn how to drive different tracks. I'm always asking for advice and relearning tracks, and so huge thanks to especially to Andrew Mraz, Anthony Handley, and Jim Thorndike for being here tonight. Big thanks to my wife, my family. I know my dad's watching. My wife might be watching. She might be still trying to put the kid to bed. I'm not entirely sure, but she lets me do this every week, and I really appreciate that. And also got to give a huge shout out. This is my first time running the Sim Coaches paint scheme in a race, and big shout out to them, and happy to have them on the car. I'll have them throughout the season, as well as Will Felt and Spotify and Mach 5 Design. So thank you guys for everything. Appreciate the stream. I'm excited to watch it back and see what I did, because I don't think I'll replicate it or duplicate it ever again.
All right, brother. Well, thank you much. We appreciate you coming to hang out with us. And now it's time to bring in our 3rd place finisher. If other guys were around and backwards, he kept the car straight all night, but it looked like a Martinsville race car, not a Darlington car. Jeff Yenish, congratulations. Really nice run to 3rd place for you here tonight.
Yeah, thanks. That was a tough one out there.
Talk us through your night a little bit. I mean, the left rear was banged up, the hood was banged up, but it didn't seem like the car was losing speed through any of that.
It was super tight there at the end. Yeah, I think most of my damage was there. 10, 15 laps to go. There was that big stack up with Johnny and I think it was Colton maybe. I can't remember who else was involved, but I know I rear-ended somebody pretty hard and looked like the car. I can't tell if there's any damage from inside the car, but yeah, I definitely felt like it was down on power or something, just super tight. But yeah, I kind of limped it to the finish, just tried to basically get in everyone's way and protect my spot up there on the high lane, and ended up getting 3rd, so I'll take it.
Well, I tell you what, it was a great night. Congratulations on the podium finish, and good start to the summer season championship for you as well. And before we let you go, make sure you do all the big sponsor plugs and thank yous.
Yeah, Rayo's Homemade. Thanks for them for being on the car, and thanks to the Wheel Roaster Racing guys. Let me hang out with them tonight. It was a lot of fun talking to them. I know a lot of them from other leagues and other races I do with them, so they're a bunch of good guys. And also thanks to the admins. I know Sam and Jordan and all them put a lot of time and resources into the league, and it's going to be a lot of fun running with these guys this season.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you much. We appreciate the kind words for everybody. And, man, I'll tell you what here, guys, as we get ready to go back to the widescreen view and wrap things up here from Darlington Raceway. Man, James, we'll come to you first. Wow, this show was wild.
That's Darlington, baby. That's why they call this place Too Tough to Tame. It was absolutely insane with all the chaos we've seen. You know, we always seem to get races that are just kind of pacing yourself, endurance, everyone taking it easy, and then we get action-packed, whatever in the world you want to call this. And honestly, I enjoy it when we get whatever the heck you want to call this, races like this.
Yeah, Patrick, this was a race that was very character for the Sim Racers Club.
I was just about to say uncharacteristic was one of the first words coming to mind. This is not usual for the Sim Racers Club, but it's also kind of fun to see that these guys are imperfect, just like every other driver in iRacing. Sometimes stuff just happens. You saw Johnny Violette involved in 2 cautions. Usually he just self-spins before winning the stage and comes back and wins the race, but that didn't happen tonight. A lot of new names, 2 drivers I don't think we've spoken to before, ever, finishing 1st and 2nd, and then Jeff Yench, a driver we haven't talked to in months, hasn't run the series in months, finishing 3rd, so I have a feeling this summer season could get shaken up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, especially with the upcoming schedule. We head off to North Wilkesboro Speedway next week, and then we follow that up with Charlotte for a 200-lap Enduro night race, followed by Gateway and Daytona. We don't hit an off week until the 4th of July holiday. 4 races coming up in the month of June. Coming up tomorrow night, it'll be championship night for the U.S. Open Wheel Championships, both the broadcast and official championships, likely to be decided on the NRN airways. That will be coming up at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And then we're in week 13. The only thing we've got the following week is going to be these guys on Wednesday night. But don't forget, coming up on Saturday night, the Vintage 500, the IRO1, turning laps at almost 240 miles an hour. The IRO5, the old crap wagon, the Lotus 79, the Lotus 49, and the sprint car. It's an almost 130 mile an hour speed difference but at the end of the straightaways between the IRO1 and the sprint cars and the Lotus 49s. About a lap and a half it's going to take the fast class to start lapping cars. I cannot wait. It is one of our favorite events of the year, the Vintage 500, not broadcast. Come on out, hang out with us, drive around and clown around with us. You can find all the information at discord.gg/TNT Racing. And hopefully we all get to see you come hang out with us on Saturday night. For Patrick Byrne, James Watson, and everybody here at the National Racing Network that makes these shows happen, my name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us tonight. We will talk to you all soon. See you later, everybody.